All right, welcome back, everyone. This is our fourth explainer in our series all about communication, and today we are really getting into the nitty-gritty. We're talking about the core principles and features of communication.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in that situation where you've said something you were absolutely sure was crystal clear, only to get a blank stare back? Or maybe they do the exact opposite of what you asked. It's that super frustrating moment we've all felt. We can call it the communication gap.
You see, for the longest time, a lot of people thought communication was basically a one-way street. You just send a message, kind of like shooting an arrow, and your job is done. But that is a huge, huge misconception. The reality, and this is the key to everything we're going to talk about today, is that communication is a two-way process of creating shared meaning.
So what does that actually look like? Well, effective communication is when we successfully create that shared meaning, when the person on the receiving end understands the message in the exact way we intended them to. It's not just about what you say, it's about what the other person hears and understands.
Here's a great way to think about it. We're not just launching arrows of information out into the world and hoping they land. No, what we're really doing is building a bridge of meaning that connects your mind to someone else's. And that's the big idea we're going to explore today.
So, if we're going to build a strong, sturdy bridge, what do we need? Well, any good construction project needs a blueprint, right? For us, that blueprint is what we call the 7 C's. Think of these as the essential principles that will help you build a stronger connection every single time you communicate. First up, and this is the absolute foundation of our bridge, is clarity. A clear message is simple, it's logical, and it's easy for the other person to understand. Seriously, without clarity, you're trying to build your entire communication bridge in a thick fog. It's just not going to work.
And just look at the difference here. Submit it soon. What does that even mean? Soon could be an hour from now or next week. It's vague, it causes stress. But submit the report by 5 p.m. on Friday? Boom! That is clear, it's specific, it tells you exactly what to do and when. All the guesswork is gone.
Okay, next up is completeness. You know how you can't build a puzzle if you're missing half the pieces? It's the same idea here. Your message has to have all the necessary information for your audience to really get it and, more importantly, to act on it without having to chase you down for more details.
Just think about something as simple as a meeting invitation. If you leave out the date, or the time, or, what the meeting's even about, what happens? Total chaos. People are unprepared, they show up late, or they don't show up at all. A complete message shows respect for everyone's time.
Principle number 3 is conciseness. And wow, in the world we live in today, where we're just bombarded with information 24/7, being brief and to the point isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential. A concise message cuts through all that noise and gets right to the heart of the matter.
But here's a really important catch. Concise doesn't mean incomplete. Look at this. Meeting postponed. Okay, that's short, but it's totally useless, right? Now, today's meeting is postponed to Monday at 10 a.m. That is both concise and complete. It gives you everything you need with zero fluff. That's the goal.
Our 4th C is correctness, and this one is all about credibility. It applies to everything, the facts you're sharing, your grammar, even your spelling. Every little error, no matter how small you think it is, can chip away at how much people trust what you're saying. Correctness is the foundation of trust. Let's move on to our 5th C, courtesy. This one is so important because it's a reminder that how you say something is often just as critical as what you say. Being polite, being respectful, these are the things that make our communication bridge feel safe and welcoming for people to cross.
I mean, just listen to the difference. You made a mistake. That feels like an attack, doesn't it? It shuts the other person down. But there seems to be an error here. Let's review it together. That's collaborative. It's a team effort. You're still fixing the problem, but you're also protecting the relationship. That is the power of courtesy. Okay, on to principle number 6, concreteness. This is all about using specific, definite, vivid language instead of vague, fuzzy words. Abstract ideas can mean totally different things to different people, but concrete terms help you paint a picture that everyone can see clearly in their mind. We've all gotten this kind of feedback, right? The project needs improvement. It's so frustrating, because what does that mean? How do I improve it? But contrast that with feedback that says, the project needs clearer objectives, updated data, and a stronger conclusion. Now you have a roadmap. You know exactly what to do. That is concrete and effective.
And that brings us to our 7th and final C, coherence. This just means your ideas need to hang together. They need to flow logically from one point to the next. A coherent message is like a smooth journey for your listener, not a confusing maze they get lost in.
Okay, so we've got our blueprint, the 7 C's. We're ready to start building our bridge. But think about it. Even the best architects don't just follow the plan and walk away. They constantly check their work as they go. In communication, that process is called the feedback loop. It's how we make sure our bridge of meaning is being built correctly.
A famous communication scholar named Wilbur Schramm said it best. It's feedback that transforms communication from a monologue into a dialogue. It turns that one-way street into a dynamic two-way process. Without it, you're not really communicating with someone, you're just talking at them. So how does this loop actually work? It's a really simple but incredibly powerful cycle. Step 1, you send your message. Step 2, the other person interprets it. Step 3, they give you feedback. It could be a nod, a question, even a confused look. And step 4, the most important part, you use that feedback to confirm that they understood, or you adjust your message to be clearer. This loop is happening constantly in every good conversation.
So, when you actually master these 7 C's and you're actively using that feedback loop, what do you get? What does that finished, strong, reliable bridge of communication actually look like? What are the telltale signs or hallmarks of great communication?
Well, there are a few key features. First, it's always purposeful. You know why you're communicating. It's audience-centered. You've actually thought about who you're talking to. It's interactive. It invites that feedback we just talked about. And it's context-sensitive. It fits the situation you're in. And beyond that, it's also ethical. It uses the right channels for the message. And at the end of the day, it actually produces real understanding and real action.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The principles, the feedback loop, the hallmarks. But let's bring it all home. Why does any of this actually matter in our real, day-to-day lives? What's the impact of building these better bridges?
Well, the contrast here really says it all. The stakes are pretty high. Ineffective communication isn't just a small annoyance. It leads to real-world problems, confusion, conflict, costly mistakes, and even damaged relationships. But on the flip side, effective communication builds all the things we want: trust, cooperation, better problem solving, and just fundamentally stronger connections with the people in our lives.
So here's the bottom line. The one thing I really hope you take away today. Good communication is not some fluffy, soft skill. It is a practical, foundational necessity for success. In our families, in school, in our careers, it is the engine that makes everything else work.
As we wrap things up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Thinking back on those 7 C's we talked about, clarity, completeness, conciseness, and all the rest, which one of those do you think could make the biggest difference for you? Right now, which C will you focus on first? Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive into the principles of communication. If you found this explainer helpful, it would be amazing if you could like, comment, and share. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. We'll see you next time.